this video, we are going to learn how to inspect formatting inconsistencies in the order date column and how to fix them. So there are several methods that we can use to inspect formatting inconsistencies, and the first method is visual inspection, and this is whereby we scroll down the entire order date column and check whether we have one format or multiple formats. And as we can see in the first few rows, we have multiple formats because we have slash-based dates and text-based dates. However, if the first few rows did show these inconsistencies and we don't want to scroll down the entire column, we can use another method, which is the filter drop down next to the order date column. And when we click it and scroll down the list, we can see the slash based dates, and as we scroll down we can see the text based dates. Another method is sorting, whereby you click the filter drop down and you sort oldest to newest. You see we have a slash based dates, and when you sort newest to oldest, you can see we have a text based dates. So those are the methods you can use. So to ensure that the order date column has one format instead of multiple formats, the first step is to decide the standard format, and the recommended professional format is the one that has year -month -day. So I'm going to create a new column so that we can compare the one that has been fixed and the one that has not been fixed and see how the change occurs. So we are going to create a new column. Let's call it order date 1. And I'm going to copy same values. And in this new column, we are going to highlight that column, then go to home, then number, and in this icon here, we are going to click it, and we are going to select date and select the format that I've just mentioned, which is this one, and we click OK. Alternatively, we can highlight that column, press Ctrl+1, and instead of selecting date, we select custom, and in the general, we are going to write the format we just mentioned, which is year, month, and day, and we click OK. So when we check on the new formatted order date column, we can see some values have changed while others have remained the same when we compare this one and the original column. So the values that have changed tells us that Excel recognizes them as real dates, and the values that have not changed tells us that they have either been stored as text or written in a format that Excel cannot interpret. And because order dates are internally stored as numbers, we are going to use the ISNUMBER function to see if the values that have not changed have been stored as text instead of numbers. So in a new column, let's call it just column, and we are going to use the ISNUMBER function. So equals ISNUMBER. We can either use the formatted order date column or the original order date column. So let's just use the original order date column. So I2. And as you can see, the ones that have changed, they have returned true, while those that have not changed have returned false. So this tells us that they could be stored as text. So the first thing is to ensure that the order date column is first stored as numbers, and then we can apply formatting later on. So the ideal method in our data set is to rebuild the order date to values that returned false. So to do so, we are going to click the filter drop down and uncheck everything and just check false. We click OK, and then we are going to copy these values and paste them into a new sheet. So Ctrl Shift down, Ctrl copy, and we are going to paste them here and paste them as values. And we can rename this column as order date. And what we are going to do now is extract day, month, and year, and then combine them. So we are going to create 3 columns: day, month, and year. And before we extract day, let's convert this data set into a table. So we are going to click anywhere in the data, then press Ctrl+T, and make sure my table has headers is checked and click OK. And note that our table is table 15. So to extract the day, we are going to use this formula. So I'm just going to write it and then I'm going to explain it to you. Equals so what this does is it extracts the day. For instance, the first mid up to this comma where before starting the next mid, it extracts day from the text-based date, and the other mid, it extracts day from the slash-based date. So to extract the month, we are going to use this formula, equals if error, and the first formula is for text-based dates, so left A2, then we find space, A2 minus 1, and the next formula is for slash based dates, so left A2, then we find the slash A2 minus 1. So that extracts the month. The next step is to extract the year, and the formula is as follows, equals if error, then we start with text-based dates, so write A2, then the last 4, then we go to the slash-based dates, so write A2, then the last 4. So before we combine day, month, and year, we are going to change the text-based month, such as April and October, to their corresponding numbers. So we are going to create another table, and we will have month and its corresponding number. So we're going to write January, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and their corresponding numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you are going to change this data set or data range into a table. So we are going to click anywhere in the data, then press Ctrl T. Make sure my table has headers is checked and click OK. And note our table, table 4, or you can maybe call it months. Now we are going to create a new column that has months with only numbers. So we are going to call that column month 1. And we are going to use this formula, equals if error, XLOOKUP, C2, and we look it up at the table that we have just created, which is month, and then we return with the number, so months, number. So we close, and if it causes error, you replace it, or the value remains as C2. So now that we have created a new month, the next step is to combine the year, the month, and the day. So we are going to create another column. Let's call it clean date, and we are going to use the date function, so equals date. We're going to start with the year. The year is D2, and then the month that we have just created, which is E2, and the day, which is B2. So as you can see, we have rebuilt the dates that were problematic. Now we are going to come back to the dataset that we were working on, but before we do so, let's note the table name. And when it comes to table design, it's table 15. So we can go back to the dataset and create a new column. Let's call it order date 2. And in this column, we are going to use the if function, the ISNUMBER function, and the XLOOKUP. So the formula is as follows: equals if ISNUMBER, the original order date column is I2, then I2, else XLOOKUP I2, the table name was table 15, and you look it up, order date, and then we return the clean date, so table 15 and clean date. And now you can see it has returned it as serial number. So the next thing is to format, and to format we are going to highlight that column, then we press Ctrl+1 and we go to custom, and in the general we write the recommended professional format, which is YYYM, and D. We click OK, and as you can see, we have formatted the order date, and we can use the ISNUMBER in a new function to see if all the dates are numbers. So equals ISNUMBER and M2, and we can check in the filter drop down to see, so we can see everything is true. So the next thing is to delete all other columns. So first we are going to copy this and paste it as value so that we can be able to delete the rest of the columns. So Ctrl Shift down, Ctrl copy, and we paste it as values. And now we can delete this, delete this, and we can rename this one as order date. We can also delete this sheet now that we are done with it. So that's how you rebuild the order date.